Yo guys, what's up? A very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook. So euro dollar has moved in towards the downside as expected. So yesterday what happened is that we pushed back in towards that area of supply over here. We grabbed the liquidity resting above this high, and since then we pushed in towards the downside. So some very clean price action overall. Getting an entry was slightly harder because as overall we can see is that we came back in towards the highs with kind of like this momentum, and then what happened is that the low of that bearish candle was then your fractal low. What you can see is that the fractal low then got broken on that bullish candle over there. So we push down, we push back up. So then the low of that bullish candle over there becomes your new fractal low, excuse me. And then what happens is that the bearish candle over here there pushes in towards the downside, but pushes up one more time as well, taking out the stop losses above the highs, and then the real dump in towards the downside came. So some very difficult price action here on euro dollar overall, but what I'm now looking for is still for the downside. We have this area of 4-hour supply now created, which put in a new fractal low over here. So overall what I'm still looking for is for this low to get taken and a push in towards this demand zone to happen. We have kind of these equal lows forming right above this area of demand, so still looking for a push in towards the downside. If we do move up higher this morning, could still happen, then I will be happy to still look for a short entry potentially from a higher level. But overall, if we do continue to move up higher and for example take out this high, I'm not interested in a short anymore, and I'll just let it consolidate, because overall if we look at euro dollar you can kind of see this sideways price action, but preferably for now I am still following the overall change of character structure and looking to take out these lows over here and see euro dollar push further in towards the downside after breaking this uptrend in towards the highs pretty much. So that's it for euro dollar. Now moving in towards the dollar index, what we can see on the dollar index overall is pretty similar to euro dollar, obviously. A very consolidated price action. Overall what happened yesterday is that we broke the low of this area of demand. Then what happened is that we pushed back up and then continued in towards the downside. This is more clear on the 15-minute time frame, by the way. You can see we broke the demand zone, pushed back up, grabbed supply, and then pushed back in towards that bigger demand zone on the 4-hour, which is very powerful over here. So what we're now looking to do is, because every single time we tap in towards this demand zone and we move out with kind of like a V-shaped reaction, what I'm looking for is for us to push up higher and reach pretty much this area of supply over here. That is my next target for the dollar index. Seeing a lot of downside rejection, so let's see if we can start grabbing that area of supply. If we see a reaction, we could see a bearish movement. Otherwise, if we break it, there's still further upside to be gained on the dollar index. Because overall, if let's say these highs were really that strong, I would have wanted to see more momentum in towards the downside, but for now we can see strong reactions every single time we kind of come in towards the downside. So apparently here to our left in this area of consolidation, there is still a lot of demand resting. So that is it for the dollar index. Now moving on in towards AUDUSD. So AUDUSD has been consolidating actually in between this area of supply and in between this area of demand. My personal preference on Aussie dollar is just to stay out of it for now. As we can see, we did pull back in towards supply, so it was kind of like a shorting opportunity from there. However, a very strong reaction towards downside. Now we're just ranging in between supply and demand. So in my personal opinion, it's best to wait. Do we break the lows? Then we can look for further downside still. Do we break the high? Then I would be happy to look for continuation in towards the upside. So that is it for Aussie dollar. As we can see, we just kept respecting the high over here, hence the downside movement. Now going in towards pound dollar, because pound dollar is actually the most interesting pair of all. I'm currently in a short, so overall pound dollar as we know it is bearish in towards the downside from this high in towards this low. We pulled back the first time, saw a push down, a lot of liquidity resting above here of those early sellers. Then what happens, the market moves back up, grabs even more liquidity, and then we fail to continue in towards the highs. So what happens, a lot of liquidity is then being built up by people who think, aha, we've now broken this area of support and resistance. They start going long, all the stop losses are placed below these lows, so now I'm looking for pound dollar to start taking them out and continue in towards the downside with the overall fractal structure as well. Yesterday we broke this fractal low, so we formed supply over here on the 4-hour time frame, hence why I'm looking for further downside, and I'm already in a short. Going in towards the 15-minute time frame, we can see this morning that we react to this area of supply, so you can keep on shorting the 15 as long as the overall order flow holds as well. So this overall buy for the sell now is pushing price downwards. So let's see what happens this morning or this day, looking for further downside on pound dollar. Now going in towards NZDUSD. So we can see on NZDUSD that we're consolidating inside this area of demand, not really moving anywhere as of now, stuck pretty much. Price is really stuck and consolidating. So I prefer to stay out of this kind of price action, preferably because we've already seen a big push in towards the downside. Then we consolidate, so we could just start pushing down once again. But then again, after such a big move, I preferably want to stay out, especially when price action is as messy as this. No real clear 4-hour fractal structure. Going in towards the 15, can we make any sense or logic out of that? Not really as well. So preferably I would like to stay out of NZDUSD for now. But I mean, overall, we're coming from supply and we're bearish momentum, or we have a lot of bearish momentum. So it does make sense if we just continue in towards the downside, because we're not seeing any bullish price action as of yet. Maybe what we could be looking for is kind of some descending price action. And then, for example, a breakout in towards the highs. If you quickly go in towards the 1 hour, again, also pretty messy. I mean, overall, you kind of have this descending corrective price action, which often leads to a push in towards the highs. But I will personally be keeping my hands off of this. Now, going in towards our last pair, which is gold. So over here, gold on the 4-hour time frame is going to hit supply today, I reckon. So waiting for that supply zone to get hit before then looking for a potential short. So a strong breakout, and this always happens, guys, where you have a strong area of consolidation or a long period of consolidation, boom, big push. Consolidation, big push. So it happens time and time again. So keep that in mind when trading, but for now, just looking to wipe out those early sellers and tap in towards that area of supply. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic day, and we will speak soon. Thanks.